Well, we want to welcome everybody to the first of the series of Zoom updates, the Ascent Building Program. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to a longtime friend of Ascent, Mr. Jacob Ner David.
So it's super exciting for me to be here. I've been part of both the Leiter family and the Ascent family for, let's say, before either Shaul or I had gray hair. So a long time, over 30 years. And, you know, there's an expression, Jewish expression of Hashgacha Pratit, of divine providence. And sometimes we see these, you know, points of divine providence in our lives, and we're gifted to see them. When he told me that no connection, absolutely no connection to me, that he was engaging with Michael Schwartz and Associates for the kind of biggest building project that Ascent has done to date, I was like, oh my goodness, where did that come from? Because Michael I've known I met Michael in 1994, 95, and was blessed for him to design and oversee the building of our first house in Yerushalayim in Jerusalem, and then the further renovation of that. So we go way back, and a tremendous amount of love and respect. So for me, it was just incredible to see the connection. So first of all, Rabbi Leiter, tell us, how did you connect with Michael?
Unbelievable Hashgacha process also. Ascent is a very good friend in New York, Mr. Michael Pomerantz. He himself is a hotelier. I asked Michael, who do you suggest? Michael said, to be sure, call my best friend, Russell Kett, an international hotel consultant. I called Russell, and Russell says the best is Michael Schwartz in Israel, okay? And when I met, I right away knew that Michael was the guy for us. He has uncanny ability to connect both practicality together with beauty, and I'm sure I will not be disappointed.
Michael, what excited you about this project? What compelled you to get involved with what's going on in Ascent and Tzfat?
Well, first of all, getting a call from Russell Kett in London saying he recommended me to a project in Israel was exciting in itself. Then when I went up to Ascent in Tzfat, it really blew me away. And I was just totally mesmerized. I loved the whole idea that they've got these relative new, we're calling 1940s, Bauhaus-style buildings sitting on Ottoman-style ruins below. This combination between the past, the present, and now the future is what really excited me about this project.
And Dan, tell us, what are the challenges of the project?
Our guests are really diverse. On the one hand, we have a couple coming from Tel Aviv or Beersheba, and they want something to be aesthetically pleasing. They want it to be beautiful. They want to be able to look out over the beautiful Galilee and see the sunset. And on the other hand, we have groups of soldiers and students coming. They're younger, they want to hang out. Their demands and tastes are totally different than the couple who comes from the city. And you know, we need to put 5 of those students or soldiers in a room. And you know, there's one final thing that is a really big challenge. We need to renovate immediately, not 2 rooms, but 22 rooms in order that we can fit a whole bus.
So Michael, tell us from an architectural point of view, a design point of view, what are the most exciting design elements of this project?
The big challenge, and one of the things, is how do you integrate all these disparate, almost separable elements into one? The other one is for imbuing it a sense of spirituality, although it does have it today, but making that stronger for the people who come there can actually feel the vibe, the spiritual vibe, and get totally embraced by it. The third, of course, is the whole technical aspect and how do you order infrastructure. That's a big challenge. Now, want to introduce Nimrod Eitan.
We needed to design a room which applies for 2 diverse kind of guests. either a romantic couple or 5 people from a group of birthright or a group of army soldiers. This is why we introduced the concept of a pod hotel, which is a modern concept and very trendy by young people, in order to allow for 5 people and to have a spacious room. You can even walk under it. And it also has things like lighting in it and sockets for your telephones and whatever. We designed it in a way that minimum furniture movement will happen while changing from one layout to the other in order to avoid damage. We have lots of room for suitcases, either under the bed or in open shelves that allow for easy cleaning. The toilet, the shower, and the sink are all in different places in order to allow use in parallel. We designed large picture windows in order to allow us to enjoy the beautiful views of the Galilee and to allow in as much light as possible. The windows are well insulated in order to stand the severe weather conditions in Tzfat, especially in winter. We introduce smart electrical systems in order to be energy sufficient, and we have central control.
And Steve will talk about the design a bit more.
Okay, well, I'll tell you covered a lot of the territory, but to follow up on Michael's Tzfat inspiration and also your talk of getting the 5 people into the room, so we really wanted to bring the inspiration of Tzfat. So, as Nimrod said, we replaced the old windows with new picture windows to emphasize distant and garden views. We wanted to bring in nature, so to speak, and to enhance this effect, there are wood floors and nature-themed tiles in the bathrooms. Now, also we have ceiling fans going, and that gives ambiance and naturally moves the air a bit. As far as the furnishings, we also saw, we went for a light, airy, comfortable furniture and maximizing the space. Finally, wall screen views of Tzfat, as well as hung images of cheerful singing, klezmer music, and prayer impart the feel of Ascent in Tzfat.
So, zooming back out after that incredible presentation of how to bring modernity to hospitality in Tzfat, while respecting tradition, as we zoom back out, I want to go back to Michael and say, as the visionary on the project, like what's really driving you? And it's a small project, but but a lot of care being put into it. What's driving you?
What drives me and what is particularly beautiful about the project, it's a continuation of this architecture of the spirit. They take Knesset, synagogue, shuls, whatever you want to call community centers, have always been a dream of mine. And this just continues that dream that I've been pursuing throughout my 40 years of planning and designing in architecture. But beyond the love for the project, I even agreed that I would help in the fundraising because I am convinced that this will be one of the most amazing projects our office has ever done. And I believe that is what's going to happen.
Small project, obviously, it's not a small project.
Yeah.
There are no small projects, but
yeah.
Certainly when it comes to a place like Tzfat, everything is much larger than life. So yeah. I'm super excited that you're involved, obviously, and the rest of the team who I've also known and worked with, and obviously everybody at Ascent. Before we go any further, I do have to say, we're almost at Rosh Hashanah, so it's not too early to wish everyone a Shana Tova Metuka.
I want to say that I don't want to put Michael and Nimrod and Steve on the spot, but I'm expecting that right after the holidays, we're going to have the full presentation of the master plan that we can also present to the Ascent family. I'm looking forward to that also. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
But I'll supply the wine for the in-person event.